What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Zoe, and I am really excited because I am starting a new series on my channel. So my thought behind this series is that I would read books recommended to me from my friends that I feel know me and my reading tastes really well. Basically, for this series, I'm asking people to recommend me 3 books. I'm going to read those 3 books and then see how well my friends actually know me. It's really not that serious, but I just thought it would be kind of fun to get recommendations from other people. I definitely still love mood reading, but I also really love challenging myself. So for my first video in this series, I had my friend Olivia over at Liv's Library pick out 3 books that she thinks that I would enjoy and that I would like. Kind of a challenge for her for sure because we have very different reading tastes, but she knows me really well as a reader. We've been friends for probably almost a year now, so yeah, she did a little video for me. I'm going to watch it, I'm going to react to it, and we're gonna see what books she picked out for me to read. Okay, here we go. I'm excited. Let's do this.
Hey guys, my name's Olivia with Liv's Library. If you haven't heard of me before, I am really good friends with Zoe, and I got really excited when she asked me to pick out about 5 or 6 books for her to vlog about that I think she would like, whether I have read them or I haven't read them before. So I think I did a really good job of picking out a variety of things that she can choose and pick from if she doesn't want to read all of them. But I am really excited to hear her thoughts on these, so let's just dive right in. The first book I chose is The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon. I recently read this and
she really liked
couldn't get
this.
over it.
Yeah.
And it's blurred by Stephen King. I know she likes Stephen King for the most part, so I'm fairly certain she's gonna like this one. There is a little bit of like a historical fiction aspect to it, but it plays into the parallel timeline of the present really well, and I don't know, I think she's really gonna like this one. At least I hope she does. I really enjoyed it. Definitely creepy, so yeah, I can't wait to see what she thinks of this one, being the thriller mystery queen she is. So the next book,
I am really intrigued by that one. It's not one that I would pick out for myself, and I'm nervous about the historical fiction aspect because I have a love-hate relationship with that. But I like the creepy factor. I didn't know it was blurbed by Stephen King. And it's very, like, I've heard it's very atmospheric. So I'm really excited to try that one, actually. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited.
So the next book I chose that I hope she doesn't hate me too much for, but of course I had to make her read one of my all-time favorite fantasies, which is Six of Crows. I actually don't own this book. I read it.
No. I don't want to read this book at all. Okay. Let's hear what she has to say. Oh no.
Through the Library. This is definitely like a high-stakes, action-packed fantasy, which I think will keep her interested, and it's not too confusing. The world building isn't too crazy, but the characters are just hilarious and amazing. So I think she's really gonna like this one. I feel like it's just a staple fantasy book that everyone needs to read.
I know that a lot of people really love that book. I know that she absolutely loves that book. It's just a book that I have always said I would never read because I'm not interested in reading it at all. Okay, let's see what the next book is.
You throw a manga in the mix.
Oh, yay.
I've been telling her to read this one for so long now, and it is a long series, which I debated about having her read something in a series, but I think she's really gonna like this one. I really want to talk about it.
I like manga.
It's just so cute. It's just like a romance slice of life manga. It's really popular, and yeah. It's called Nisekoi, which is false love. So as you can tell, there's a love triangle, and yeah, it's one of my all-time favorites, and I really want her to read it. The next one that I picked out,
she picked out 4? Okay. Maybe because like the manga's really short. Hopefully she only picked out 4.
Don't have physically either, but it's called Sheets.
Oh,
I love this book.
She got that for me for my birthday.
The colors, the vibe, the storyline, it was just so cute, Such a wholesome story, such a great graphic novel. If you guys haven't read it, I would highly recommend picking it up. This is just another one that I'm really excited for her to get to. I know she likes graphic novels, and I feel like the color scheme and everything is just totally her, so I had to put this one on the list for sure. The next one I have is actually...
She has 5? I'm pretty sure I only told you 3 books. Okay, that's okay. Graphic novel and manga are like, can finish them in like a day, so no big deal. I'm just still freaking out about Six of Crows. Okay.
Actually a middle grade book.
Okay.
It is called Small Spaces by Catherine Arden.
Oh, cute.
I don't think she's read anything by Catherine Arden. I hope I'm not wrong.
Nope.
But I know this is a super popular one. It's creepy, and I know she loves creepy mystery thrillers, and this is like a middle grade mystery thriller. So I think it'll be perfect maybe to see if she actually likes Catherine Arden. I have not read this myself, but I don't know, I was going through my middle grade list, and this one just stuck out to me for some reason. I think it's just because of the mystery thriller aspect to it, so yeah, I'm really interested to see if she likes this one, and if she does, she can tell me to jump on this one. So basically, those are all the top books that I'm interested in.
I haven't read anything by Catherine Arden. I love a good middle grade though, and those last 3 are not that big, so I think that that's totally fine for the book challenge. I'm excited to read that middle grade one. I've been in kind of a middle grade mood, so that's a good pick actually.
So basically, those are all the top books that I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on, but I also decided to add in one more.
What?
Just if she wants to pick and choose.
Okay,
it's
optional.
called The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise. It's actually a contemporary middle grade. Obviously, Zoe loves cats. I love cats. This cover is adorable, and it just screams Zoe to me. And the premise sounds super cute. I can't remember exactly what it's about. I just know it's about this little girl and her dad who travel like on a bus through the whole United States to like mend some family issue. And she obviously has a cat, and it just looks really cute. So I decided to throw an extra one in there that's contemporary, since I know Zoe likes contemporary books as well. So yeah, that's basically the ones that I chose. I can't wait to see this vlog and to see what she thinks of these books, especially the couple that I haven't personally read yet. And I'm really hoping she loves Six of Crows, because that's my favorite series of all time. So I hope we're still friends after this. Just kidding. But anyways, I hope you enjoy reading these books.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Okay. Ooh! I am going to attempt to read all of those books. I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna have to order probably some of them. I'm gonna check if they're on Book Outlet and if they're cheap or anything like that, but I'm nervous. I'm super nervous for Six of Crows. I'm most intrigued to read Winter People. I'm most excited to read that one. I'm really also excited to read Sheets and that manga. I've been in a manga mood. I'm least excited to read Six of Crows for sure. I also am like intrigued to read the middle grade ones, but cautious. Middle grade is very hit or miss for me as well, but when it's like a hit, it's my favorite. So I guess we will see how I feel about these books. Ooh! Hello, it's a couple days later, and I got some book mail. Eee! Okay, so I bought 4 out of the 5 books. You're probably wondering, where is Six of Crows? I didn't buy it because I forgot that I had actually gotten it with one of my Audible credits a little while ago. Like probably a year and a half ago, and I actually forgot that I tried to listen to it, and I got about, I don't know, 15 minutes in and I didn't like it, so I stopped listening. But I'm still going to try again. Still giving it my best try, but I am going to go ahead and listen to the audiobook. Thing is that I had to get all of these. I like owning my own books. I like collecting them. I'm not going to say anything else except for that. But I wanted to buy Six of Crows. It's one of those books that if I end up loving that book, I'm going to want the hardcover. I'm going to want the really, really nice copy. I like hardcovers. I like collecting them. But it's like $14, and the paperback was like $8, and I could have gotten it, but I don't want to have the paperback if I end up loving the series, and if I don't end up liking it, I'm just not going to end up buying it. So if I end up loving it, I will buy myself the hardcover. That will be my reward for getting through that book. I suppose it won't feel as much of a reward if I end up liking it. It'll just be like, I loved it and I want to own it. Anyway, I did go ahead though and get all of these books. I forgot that Winter People is a mass market paperback, so it's like super tiny. It like fits in my hand. It's so, so tiny. But the writing is still fairly big, which is good. I'm really excited to get to this one. And then I got the, I almost called it an anime. I got the, what is this? A manga. A new manga. I'm super excited. This is the one that she recommended for me. She always pronounces this and I'm like, Nisekoi? Nisekoi? I don't know. It says false love. I'm excited for this. I love manga. I don't read a lot of it on my channel. I struggle. I love manga, but sometimes I just am really not in the mood for it. And sometimes I'm really in the mood for it. I do really want to get to this one like probably soon, maybe even tonight, so I can just complete it and get one of these books knocked off my list. And then I also have the 2 middle grade, which I'm excited for. Catherine Arden. Oh, The Bear and the Nightingale. That's what I was like, her name sounds so familiar. And it literally says author of The Bear and the Nightingale, which is so great because I have never read anything by her. And I know that Liv actually really loves Catherine Arden. I think she might have said that in her video. She loves that book, I'm pretty sure. A lot of people really love that book. So I'm actually really excited to read this middle grade. I hope that the writing style is similar. I hope I love this story. And then this one is so cute. The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise. And like, seriously, look how cute she is. I want to be her with her cool like slouchy tee and sunglasses. A little kitty cat. Okay, I'm really excited to read this. I'm excited to read all of them, honestly. I'm staying optimistic. I have the whole month to get through them, but I need to get through them ASAP. I forgot to mention too that this video is not going to be like my normal vlogs where I'll have like B-roll of stuff that I'm doing because that's just going to be way too stressful for me. I'm also participating in Contemporary-a-thon and doing a week-long vlog for that. So this is really just going to be a like challenge type video where I will check in and talk about the books, but it's not going to be one of my typical vlogs. I hope that's okay. I hope that y'all enjoy this type of video too. I'm excited to make it, and if you do enjoy it and like seeing these from me, please let me know. Like, give me some feedback. If you don't, that's totally fine too, but if you do like seeing these, let me know because I like coming up with some of these challenges, and so I'd like to do more of them in the future. But anyway, I'm gonna get to reading. Hello, I have finished Nisekoi. I think that's how you pronounce it. I probably am butchering it. But this is the manga that Liv picked out for me to read. I wanted to start out with this one just because I knew I could fly through it. It did end up taking me a couple days to get through, but I digress. I've been in like a really weird reading slump-ish mood, so I probably shouldn't have picked out like 13 books to read this month, but you know, such is life. So anyway, I finished it. I liked it. Nothing crazy to say. I don't know, I feel like I have kind of a weird relationship with manga. I really enjoy reading manga as a way to kind of break up my reading. Whenever I get into reading slumps, I really like to grab a manga or graphic novel. It kind of tricks my brain into feeling really accomplished about reading a book, which sounds really silly, and it's not like I need to feel like I'm reading tons of books, but it's just this really like gratifying feeling of being like, oh, I just finished a book, and it's nice to be able to kind of get through it quickly. I like manga because they're just sort of silly and lighthearted, and they're not hard to just kind of get into and tune everything out. It's not a big investment, which is funny because I feel like a lot of other people would maybe say it is a big investment because there's a lot in manga series typically, but I don't feel a lot of pressure to read a manga series and complete it really quickly, if that makes sense. Like, I've been reading and taking my time reading The Promised Neverland or Dream and Sun. It feels nice to always know I can go back to that series, kind of like an old TV show that you like watching, and just pick it up and read it and kind of know where you left off. I really don't like rating manga until I read the entire series, or at least catch up. I'd rather rate a manga for like how the series is as a whole instead of like book by book, because some books are, I feel like, a lot less entertaining and more supplemental than others. I have to say, I have read a couple manga series now, probably close to maybe 10 different series. I haven't finished all of them, but I've gotten into them. As far as where this one falls, I feel like this would be like right in the middle. It's not the worst one I've ever read, and I definitely am interested in picking it up again, but I'm not running to the bookstore to pick up number 2. I still think The Promised Neverland is my absolute favorite. A close second would have to be Orange. This one has really cute tropes like love triangle, fake dating is in this one, which I love. Right now, I'm assuming they're enemies to lovers, maybe, but right now they're enemies still. This boy, his father is the leader of this gang where they live, and this new girl comes to town, and her father is the leader of the rival gang. And in classic manga fashion, the rival gang leaders, both of their dads, want to try and get the two gangs to not be really rivals anymore. And so in order to do so, they have the son and the daughter fake date to somehow join up these rival gangs. It literally makes no sense, but that's kind of classic manga. The girl is really like feisty and she's very like a little violent and spunky, and the boy is like really kind-hearted and soft, and I really liked kind of that portrayal, I guess. With manga, it is really easy to get very what's the word like I'm looking for, like very boxed in with some of the things that they talk about. Like, I don't really like reading when like the guy's like, oh, she is the most popular in class because she's so hot and she's half American and so she's so hot. Like, the guy mentioned that the girl was hot like 20 times in this book, and I just kind of got like a little annoyed because I'm like, okay, we get it, she's attractive. Like, you don't have to say it 20 times in like your inner dialogue for the reader to understand that she's attractive. Like, we get it, we can literally see her. But yeah, like I said, I did like it. Not my favorite, but I did enjoy my time reading it. So I am glad I picked this one up. This was a solid manga choice for me. Definitely a fun little like contemporary manga. Not bad. Starting off, not bad. Not my favorite, but not bad. And I'm gonna try and I think pick up one of the middle grades next. Not quite sure. It's either going to be one of the middle grades or it's going to be Winter People. I still haven't even kind of thought about picking up Six of Crows. I know I have to. It's like looming over me, but I'm just so nervous to start it. Because I really want to be surprised and like it, but I'm just not sure how I'm going to feel about it. So anyway, I will check in when I have read another book. I have been reading Small Spaces by Catherine Arden, and one thing that is happening in this book is that our main character discovered this book that she's been reading that is telling some kind of story, and there's a lot of excerpts of the book in this book, and that's one thing that I just don't like in books at all, is when they include other things that I have to read, which sounds so bad, but it's just not what I like. And I thought that like when she first started reading it, that the extra stuff that was included wasn't going to continue to be throughout the book, and now I'm realizing, like, I'm 50 pages in and there's still a lot more that's being included, and I think I'm realizing that it's going to continue to be included. And I kind of skimmed all that stuff like when she first started reading it, and now I'm realizing that it's probably going to be a part of the book, and I just don't like that. So I'm still only 50 pages in, so who knows, maybe I'll like it, but as of right now I'm not invested at all in this story, so we'll see. Hello, I finished Small Spaces by Catherine Arden, and I'm gonna go ahead and give this like a 2-star probably. The writing within writing did cease, which I was happy about, but unfortunately it just was, it was fine. Like, I didn't hate it. It's a very gentle 2-star. I didn't hate the book, and I didn't mind reading it. It was just boring and bland to me. It was very much a middle grade with just kind of classic middle grade tropes, which aren't necessarily a bad thing. I will say that the best part about this book was the atmosphere. I think I mentioned earlier, but this follows the story of our main character, Ollie, who recently lost her mom, and so she's kind of got like an attitude towards people. She only wants to read books and escape into worlds. Through the books that she's reading, she doesn't want to make friends with people. She sticks up for people, but she also wants to kind of be a loner, and so that's kind of her MO throughout the whole book. And then her and her classmates travel to this farm for a field trip, and the farm ends up having like kind of weird haunted scarecrow ghost story lore thing happening, and their bus breaks down when they try to leave, and so her and her 2 classmates try to figure out what's going on and save all of her classmates, and kind of has to make this hard sacrifice at the end of the book for her friends, and then they become friends. You can tell that the redemptive part of the story is, you know, her realizing she needed friends and having friends, and it's good. I feel like I've read this middle grade kind of 100 times though. Nothing like amazing about it. I did think that there were some actual like scary parts for being a middle grade. Very creepy, eerie setting, just creepy and like, oh man, you really went there for middle grade. I didn't hate it. If this book interests you, I definitely recommend picking it up. It would be a good one to read in October for sure. Yeah, it was just fine. It was okay. I was a little bit bothered by the writing. I don't know if her writing is similar in The Bear and the Nightingale because I haven't read that book, but I know a lot of people love that book. I can't imagine that her writing is similar because this felt very rushed and I wasn't invested. I wasn't intrigued. I wasn't like into the story that much. I just was kind of reading it to get through it. So not my favorite, unfortunately, but I'm still glad I tried it. Maybe the other middle grade will be better, but this one is probably about a 2-star. Hello, I just finished The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I literally just finished it, so I'm kind of reeling over the ending. I feel like I'm gonna settle for like a 3.5-star rating for this book. I don't remember too much of what I've talked about, but basically we follow 2 timelines in this book. One timeline is like 1908, and then the other timeline is present day. We're following 2 different families that live in the same house during their timelines. Surprisingly enough, I so much more enjoyed the 1908 timeline, which is like just confusing me because it's so rare that I would enjoy a historical fiction timeline more than the present day one, but it was just written so well and it was so action-packed. I loved those parts. The present day parts were so not my cup of tea. Like, I was so confused about a lot of things really up until the end, and I wasn't invested in the characters during the present day timeline. This was very reminiscent, I feel like, of Pet Sematary by Stephen King, which was kind of fun too. The idea of being able to bring loved ones back if you do this certain ritual, and then the detriment of bringing those loved ones back. This was definitely dark and a little gory and scary at some parts. It was a little like frightening and like left me with the creeps sometimes. So really surprised by that. I wasn't expecting it to be as like kind of scary as it was. It wasn't terrifying, but it definitely had that creep factor for sure. Overall, out of all the books I've read so far for this project, this is definitely my favorite. And this is actually the first 3-star book I've read all year, which is so crazy. My book choices and opinions on books lately have been so polarizing, so it feels really good to read a book that I felt very like middle about. Like, I enjoyed some parts, I really didn't enjoy other parts, but it came together to be a fairly enjoyable experience overall. So I recommend this one. If you like mystery thrillers, especially in the winter, this is a great, obviously it's called The Winter People, like great just like winter time read for something kind of spooky. Yeah, this is definitely what you want to pick up. I also started today Six of Crows on audiobook, and it's going okay. There's some parts that I'm really tracking with and I'm understanding and I'm vibing with, and then there's other stuff like the political and the world building that I'm not quite getting yet, but I'm trying to just give myself some patience and trust that it'll all make sense the more I read or listen to it. And then I also have left the Coyote middle grade book and then Sheets. It's currently Saturday today, so I'd really like to honestly get all of these finished like this weekend. So we'll see if that happens. Hopefully. But yeah, so far so good. On to the next. Hello. This lighting is terrible. Please forgive me. But look how cute Scout looks right now. Ooh. What are you doing? He's the cutest. I wanted to update y'all because I finished Sheets. This is by Brenna Thumler, and I really enjoyed it. Hands down, my favorite part was The art style and the color palette is just so beautiful. It's so visually appealing. I don't even know like what tones these are, but there's like a lot of blue with pops of pink, and everything else is kind of like muted. There's a lot of purples. Like, it just looked so pretty. I was reading it, I would just find myself staring at some of the scenes. This was definitely a lot more sad than I was expecting. This follows the story of a 13-year-old girl whose family owns a laundry shop. They also live above the laundry shop, and we realize early on that this 13-year-old girl, her mother recently died. That's really left her dad in a pretty depressive state, so she's been running the laundry shop, going to school, managing all of those things, plus like working through her own grief because of losing her mother. Our main character is just really sad, rightfully so. There's also this money-hungry mogul trying to basically steal their place of business, and she ends up meeting this little ghost named Wendell, and they end up kind of becoming friends. He does do a bit of mischief in this book, but ultimately this was really great. I thought, as far as a graphic novel, I mean, I read it in like 30 minutes. Really enjoyable. I loved the art style. I would say, honestly, this is a 4-star book for me. Like, I thought that the themes were handled really well. I just loved the friendship. I loved our main character. I felt a lot of things for her. I think, honestly, when it comes to graphic novels, I really do place a lot of my rating on the art style and like if I enjoy the art, and then also the story as well. And man, I just really found myself obsessed with looking at this book. It was so well done visually. I really recommend it. If you're looking for like a good graphic novel, this is the way to go. This was so, so good. Really good choice, Liv. I really enjoyed this one a lot. So, a little update from me on this project. I have a couple hours left of Six of Crows. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it yet. I'm waiting to finish the book to really see how I feel. Right now, it's like a solid 3.5 stars, but we will see. I still have a few hours left. So my goal tonight is to finish it. I am gonna go ahead and not read The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise. I do want to read this book, and I had every intention to. I just decided to, for all intents and purposes, skip it because I'm not quite feeling it right now. I did read the first chapter and I really did enjoy the writing. I enjoyed the tone of the main character and I enjoyed what was going on, but I'm starting to feel a little burnt out by this project, if that makes sense. When you force yourself to read so many books that you're not necessarily in the mood for and they're more challenge books to read, I feel like it can skew how I actually feel about the book. Like, it can skew my enjoyment of the book. And I actually really do want to enjoy this one, so I am going to skip it. I think that this was one that she said in her video was like an optional book if I wanted to pick this one up as well. So I'm going to read this at a later date. I'm going to skip it for this video, but I do really want to read this and I do think I am going to really actually enjoy it. So still a really solid choice, but just not for one for right now. Okay, so I'm going to finish Six of Crows. I still can't believe that I'm reading Six of Crows. Like, I think about it and I'm like, I'm pretty sure at one time I said I would never read Six of Crows, and here I am. Well, I just finished it. And I liked it more than I thought I would. So that's good. I liked it, but I don't really understand why it's so loved. I didn't get like the sense of like loving it as much as everyone else super loves this story. Six of Crows is a fantasy book about a Riley group of various people who are on a heist, and there's a lot of like different relationship tensions and one main guy who's like leading the group and they have to pull off this crazy plan and they all have different sets of skills. I haven't like read any other reviews about how people feel of Six of Crows. I just know that this is like a really, really loved series and like the Grishaverse is just overall like people love it. But I feel like I need to go watch like videos of why people love it so much. I feel like the characters were the true magic of the story. I loved Inej and Nina so much. Like, they were like so great. I loved Kaz. I really liked everyone. There weren't any characters that I didn't care for. I was invested in each of the characters. I just didn't really care for the story. Like, overall, I just didn't care for like reading about them pulling off this crazy heist. I mostly cared about like what they thought about one another, relationships, like why did this person hate this person and what is their backstory and what was she doing before this. Like, I was so invested in all of that. So I know that this is a duology, so I do think I'm going to read the second one soonish because I want to know what happened, and the first book did definitely leave on a type of cliffhanger, so I really do need to know what happens. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it more than I thought, and I'm glad that I read it. I feel like for me it's like a 3.5 to 4 star, 3.75. Yeah, I feel like that's a fair rating, at least at this point. I usually like to wait a week or so to rate a book to see, like, sit with it a bit and see if I still like it. I did enjoy it. I just wish that I enjoyed it as much as like the people out there who like love it. Yeah, maybe I'll love the second one even more. So who knows? That is the end. I completed the challenge, minus one of the books, but to be fair, I didn't realize she was gonna recommend me 5 books. So I did read 4 books. Out of all 4 of the books, I didn't rate any of them 5 stars. So none of them were like a crazy 5-star read for me. Going from the least to the most favorite, I think I liked Small Spaces the least, Nisekoi, then Winter People, then Six of Crows. So I am very shocked. But I'm glad that I ended up liking Six of Crows. I already feel like the more I think about the story, the more I like it. So there's that. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys liked this video. I know it was a little different from me, but yeah, I enjoyed doing it. I like this challenge, and I definitely hope to do it again in the future. All right, y'all. Well, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are. You are so loved, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.